Hi, and welcome to I Want to Make a Knife, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Also, this is my first time doing all of this. Alright, well, in order to make this knife, we need a forge. And I'm not gonna buy a forge. Not yet. Because they're fucking expensive. I have some leftover materials, so I'll show you what I got planned. I have a leftover hairdryer, a leg for a table. This is just the base used just to not damage the flooring or the tiles. We have some fire resistant bricks and stand-up bricks. And yes, I'm wearing Crocs. I didn't really explain what kind of forge I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a coal forge. And there's a couple of requirements for this forge in order for me to use it. It needs to be sturdy. It needs to have airflow control, because how much air you pump into it decides how hot it gets. So air control. And I need like a reserve for excess coal that I can just push into the fire pit for easy access. Otherwise it's going to be a pain. So coal reserve. I also need some kind of reinforcement for these fire bricks because they're kind of brittle. As you can see here, this was from transport. They break very easily. And yeah, so that's the first part. Okay, I should have some kind of plan before going into this because this is my first time building this. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I need some kind of 90-degree angle for the coals to get in. So the hot coals will be in here, the flames up. And right here, this will be the gap where air can go in. So underneath this, we will have a chamber for the air blower to blow air into, and then the air will get evenly distributed in the chamber and pushed up through the coals. In this chamber, I also need to incorporate some kind of airflow control. I need to be able to regulate how much air goes through there. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna do this by placing a brick at an opening, and then you can just reposition this. That's it. Okay, you can just reposition this brick. Now for the coal reserve, I think we're just gonna build up. And then from here, we can just push in the coals into the pit. And as for reinforcement, we're gonna have to be crafty with some bricks. Now, I don't think you can get anything out of this drawing because it's horrendous, but I hope my explanation of it at least makes a little sense. Alright, so I actually made some proper drawings. I don't think I could use the other one for anything. So let's just get started. Okay, so after building it, I saw some flaws, so I've changed the design a little bit. Now I have these bricks cut at an angle, and then with these fire bricks, they will now be supported. They will not be supported like this. That's gonna be way better for the fucking mosquito. Alright, so it's finished now, or finished enough. That's where the air will get distributed and then come out the gap right there. In the back right here, that's where the air is gonna come in, and we're gonna run a tube along here where the hairdryer will be inserted. The coals that I'm using cannot sustain a fire by themselves,
let alone start a fire. So I'm gonna have to start a small fire first and then add the coals. Okay, so that didn't work. I got the piece of mild steel red hot at one spot, but I could not get it consistent. I think it's the lack of air, so I'm gonna buy a better blower and see if it works then. I don't know. Okay, so I tried again. I sealed off a bunch of the escaping air, and now I can actually get it red hot, decently consistent. But I do think that I need a better blower. Alright, I bought a new microphone. I also brought a new fan. So I actually bought a pretty decent fan. It's a little bit expensive, but I think it's gonna be worth it. I updated the forge. I removed these fire bricks. I wasn't really happy with how it performed before, but it's much better now. Okay, the forge is working. It's actually working pretty well. I got this piece of steel hot enough to make these 2 spikes. I need to make 2 more spikes, but I'm not really all that happy with the forge. It consumes a lot of coal, and coal is pretty expensive where I live. Also, it doesn't get as hot as I want it to. The fire pit is simply too large, and the air just doesn't get distributed. The air doesn't get distributed evenly enough in it. So I've researched a bit, looked up what I can do about it, and I think I've come up with a solution. But first I'll just fire up the forge and show you what I mean. It's going from all the way here to here. That's too big of a fire. For me, I personally don't need that much. This knife represents what the largest thing I will be making in this. I don't even think I'm gonna make anything this large. It's probably gonna be like half or a quarter of that. Also, right here, that's where the forge gets hottest, and I can't really use that area because I'll be going against this one. Even this area here, I can't really use. So I want something concentrated in this area right here. Limiting the active area to that means that I won't burn as much coal, and with proper pressure through the coals will cause it to get even hotter, which is better for me because then I'll get a hotter heat that I can work longer on. Let's just build it. I know I showed another table leg in the intro, but I actually, when I was on a walk, I found this one. This one still has the end cap. I've taken that off the other one, and this is gonna be beneficial to me because I don't want the air flowing out there. First, I'm just gonna use some layout fluid to show my markings, which we'll do right there, right there. I don't know if you can see anything at all, but basically my area I want to heat is from here to here. I'm going for 4 holes, and I will do them in like a zigzag pattern. But first, I'll take this over to the forge with you and just check if it fits and if everything lines up as it should. You know, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I would like to maybe drag this part a little bit up, like right there. As you can see, I have marked out the holes with my punch. This is an old type of drill, so I will have to manually adjust it. So for the size of hole that I'm drilling, I'm gonna need about 1,500 RPM. So I gotta switch this belt down here and here. There. And there. For the first pass, I'm gonna use a 3mm drill, and then I'm gonna step it up to a 6mm. Okay, as I just learned, you need to drill straight on. Otherwise, it's just gonna skip around and not go where you want it. So let's try again. We got 4 holes drilled now. So let's install it and see if it does what I want it to. It's working, but I think I need to raise up the blower a little bit because the area there is most heat in is very deep down and it's kind of hard to access. So I think I need to raise it up a little bit. The pressure seems good. The area that gets hot seems good. I just need to raise it a little bit. So I'm gonna try to forge the spikes that I need to mount my anvil. I need 2 more spikes, so let's just jump right into it. Since last time, I have raised up the outlet or the blower a little bit. So let's see if that helps. Okay, so after creating the last spike and using the forge after I updated, I'm really happy with the forge. It works awesome. It gets up to high heat. It doesn't consume nearly as much coal. Overall, I'm very satisfied with it. So this last spike I'm going to use to mount the anvil, and in the next episode I will show you that and also how I cut the log to length and everything included in mounting an anvil. So stay tuned, or don't, do whatever you want, but maybe see you next time.